Imagine walking through ancient Rome. The forum is alive with merchants, politicians, and philosophers. You hear people shouting, horses clopping, the clatter of chariots. But what exactly are they saying? Was Julius Caesar really shouting, "Veni, vidi, vici," the way we say it today? Or did it sound more like "Weni, wedi, wiki"? It's astonishing, but scholars have reconstructed the sounds of a language spoken over 2,000 years ago without recordings, microphones, or audio devices. How did they do it? And what can that tell us about learning any language today? Welcome to the Airlearn Language Show, where we unpack strange origins, lost meanings, and how language keeps evolving. Today, we're exploring the mystery of Latin pronunciation, the clues left behind by Romans themselves, and how modern linguists can hear the voice of ancient Rome. Reconstructing Latin is much like learning a language from scratch. You have to pay attention to patterns, repetition, and context, rather than memorizing words in isolation. That's exactly what modern tools like Airlearn help you do. When scholars study Latin, they examine inscriptions carved in stone, poetry with strict meter, and misspelled words in casual writing. Each fragment gives clues about vowels, consonants, and rhythm. So why is Latin pronunciation even interesting? Beyond history, it connects us to the roots of modern languages. French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Romanian, all the Romance languages descend from Latin. Even English borrowed heavily from Latin, especially in scientific, legal, and religious vocabulary. When we understand Latin sounds, we also understand how modern languages evolved, how spelling and pronunciation shifted, and why certain letters like C or V are pronounced differently today. The challenge is simple. No recordings exist from 100 BCE to 200 CE, the period of classical Latin. Scholars call this classical Latin, spoken by educated Romans in literature, public speeches, and political life. Of course, there were dialects, slang, and regional variation, but our goal is the high status, standard Latin that poets and orators used. So, how do we know how it sounded? Linguists have to piece together evidence from multiple sources, written texts, poetry, grammarians' notes, inscriptions, spelling errors, and even the evolution of Latin into other languages. Some of our most important guides were Roman grammarians, like Quintilian, who lived through the turbulent year of the 4 emperors. He left detailed advice on pronunciation. For instance, that C always made a hard K sound, never the soft ch or s sounds found in modern Italian or English. Other grammarians commented on tricky letters like R. Some say it was trilled. Others suggest a tap, similar to Spanish. Even though these notes aren't recordings, they give strong clues about how Romans articulated vowels and consonants. Poetry is another gold mine. Roman poets, especially Virgil, wrote with strict attention to meter, where syllable length mattered. Long vowels and short vowels were critical for the rhythm of a line. By analyzing which syllables were long or short, scholars can infer vowel length and even subtle differences in sound. For example, the Latin I in some words was longer than in others, a distinction critical for poetic meter. Combined with inscriptions and spelling variations, this helps linguists reconstruct approximate pronunciations with remarkable accuracy. Romans also left another kind of clue: errors in writing, graffiti, informal notes, and even school exercises reveal what sounds people were actually producing. For instance, dropping the H in casual writing suggests it may have been silent in everyday speech. even if formal writing insisted on it. Similarly, certain letters were rarely interchanged in spelling, suggesting distinct sounds, while frequently confused letters indicate similar pronunciation. It's like solving a puzzle, using mistakes as evidence. Latin words borrowed into Greek, Gothic, and other languages also provide important clues. For example, Caesar was written with a hard K in Greek texts. English itself retains traces. The word wine comes from Latin vinum, and its consonants hint at earlier pronunciations. By comparing languages, scholars triangulate how letters and sounds were used in classical Latin. The evolution of Latin into the Romance languages is also evidence. Spanish, Italian, French, and Portuguese evolved from spoken Latin in different regions. By analyzing their vowels and consonants, we can backtrack to approximate classical Latin sounds. For instance, C before E or I softened in many Romance languages, but in Sardinian, it stayed hard, reflecting older Latin pronunciation. This shows how new languages carry the fingerprints of old sounds, allowing us to hear Latin even though it's long dead. Interestingly, pronunciation continued to shift over time. By the Middle Ages, Latin was written consistently, but spoken differently in different regions. That's why Julius Caesar is pronounced differently in English, French, or Italian contexts today. Even today, Latin survives as a living study language, taught to students, used in Catholic liturgy, and employed by scholars. Each tradition preserves slightly different pronunciations, reminding us that language is alive, evolving, and context-dependent. So, what did Caesar actually sound like when he said, "Veni, vidi, vici"? Modern reconstructions suggest it was closer to "weni, wedi, wiki," quite different from the way we say it today. Other familiar Latin words also surprise us. Cicero would have sounded like Cicero, not Cicero. Vinium was pronounced winium with a crisp W instead of a V. Even small details, like whether a vowel was long or short, were crucial. They could change the meaning of a word, and they were especially important in poetry or rhetorical speeches, where rhythm and emphasis shaped the effect of the message. Every syllable counted, and knowing this lets us hear Latin almost as the Romans did. Studying what Latin sounded like teaches us more than history. It shows us the tools linguists use to reconstruct lost languages, the evolution of modern languages, and the role of context, patterns, and repetition in learning. As you explore a new language, remember the Romans, the scholars, poets, and everyday people who left traces of how they spoke. Every spelling, poetic rhythm, and even casual graffiti is a clue. By actively engaging with these patterns, you don't just learn words, you reconstruct meaning, sound, and culture. Almost like hearing the voice of ancient Rome itself. Hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time with another story on the Airlearn Language Show.